Today we're diagnosing an E07 code, which is the first time that's happened in almost 2 years. We're going to have to get to the heater under the seat. Now we're in the engine bay. You can see the control panel up here. You can see the nozzle comes out the back there. You can see cut into this plate. You can remove this plate with the bolts. Take this whole plate out, cut a hole in the plate, stick your nozzle right through it. So you're not cutting the actual body, you're cutting a removable plate. Okay, just diagnosing that E07 code. All I've done was unplugged and replugged the heater in. And then now we're going to try to turn it on. See, it's set to 30 degrees. The pump's turned on. Now, I think it turns on the glow plug heater. That's the power and that's the fan. Let's set it to a reasonable temperature. And nice and toasty 24. So this is doing its thing, it's warming up. It does a startup cycle where it turns on the heater element, the glow plug, and a little bit of fan, and that's it, no fuel. And it just holds it like that just to clear the chamber out. Then once it's done, it'll turn the glow plug back on and it'll start injecting fuel in with a bit more fan. And that's just to get it started. I think it'll do an extra primer at the beginning, a click, 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 to do a little prime right at the beginning after it clears the chamber, and then it'll try to ignite. If you pay attention closely, it will tell you below here what it's doing. That's the fan, that's just the power to the unit, and that's the glow plug, which means the glow plug is now on. And the fan is on, so it's really low. But it's just barely turning. And that's, see, you can hear that. That was the prime. So now it just primed it. The fuel pump is now ticking away down here. It's going through that copper line all the way around, going into the pump. You might be able to see some smoke on the exhaust. It'll tell you here on the heater that the fuel pump is on. The glow plug is on. Over here we can tell you this is the temperature of the vehicle interior. This is the temperature inside the heater. And if that was on, that would be going up a lot. So it might not be starting. That's the voltage going to the unit. All right, sounds like we're not. Oh, there's some smoke. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. Oh, it started up. See, what happened is the system got flooded. So that's probably, it'll probably start up the next time we start it. I think the next time we start it, it's going to run perfectly. So we're going to let this do its thing. It's probably going to do its shut-off routine and give us an error. And then the next time we start it, it should work. I think there's probably air in the line. It wasn't getting all the fuel it wanted to at the right time. And we're still recovering from the 07 code, which means that there is a disconnection between the heater and the controller. You can see how wet it got over here. I should put the cover of the bottom back on. 21cc, it did turn on. See, right now the glow plug is off, the fuel pump is on, and it's just flooding. So anyway, it's going to figure out that it's flooded because the temperature will drop. And once the temperature drops, it figures out it's flooded, it'll do its shutdown routine. And then it's going to do a smoke routine when it starts up because it's flooded. But then it's going to work perfectly. That's my prediction. But it is going to have to turn off and back on again to do that. So I don't know if I want to wait for this thing to do it on its own or if I want to help it because it's flooding itself right now. It thinks it's running. I can even smell the fuel now, the raw fuel. But I don't think it's going to detect that it's flooded until the temperature drops inside the burn chamber, because it did turn on, but just not well enough. Yeah, I don't think it's running. He thinks he's running, but he's not running. You know, the fan's on. Okay, I'm gonna cut it. Oh, see, the temperature dropped. Okay, maybe it'll figure it out now that it's not running. He still doesn't know. That, or it's not getting the fuel. That's the only other possibility. Anyway, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to do the cancel cycle. You push it off. Okay, so now that it's off, it's going to do a different cycle now. It's going to turn the glow plug back on. It's going to turn the fuel pump off. And it's going to clear the chamber. So smoke should start out here, because that was flooded. For sure it was flooded. See, that's the glow plug burning off whatever's in there with the fuel pump off. Unfortunately, this is a long cycle. It does take a full 5 minutes. So we're gonna have to speed this up. You can actually hear that it's running good now with no fuel pump on. With just the fuel that's stuck in the chamber. There's so much fuel in there. This is it burning away the excess fuel that's in that chamber. And once it does this, it'll start up fine the next time. This is only because we disconnected all the system and everything, and I think it got some air in the line, or some fuel got away from the chamber a little bit. It just needed a little bit more priming. Let's see what the system tells us there. Now the glow plug is off, fuel is off, but it has power. The fan is off. See, it did heat up. It does stink in here. Let's open up this stuff because it stinks in here now. Yeah, see, there's too much fuel in here. And I think we can turn it on again now. Push and hold. There we go. This one should be the winner. And it does do its prime again. So it heats up the glow plug, burning off any excess that's in there. Still burning off the chamber. It's clearing out the flooded combustion chamber by turning on the glow plug and not adding any more fuel in. Hopefully, if everything goes right, the smoke will stop and then you'll hear the fuel pump prime with quick pumps in quick succession for a few times, and then the melodic slow pumps for when it's turned on. Should hear that. There it went. That was the prime. Now the regular pumping. It did come on a little early. There was a little too much fuel in there still. Let's see if it can correct itself. Like, it's lit, you know, it's lit, so it should do it. It should clear up and work. But it's lit. It's 57 degrees. 58. 59. It's starting to run better. 61. 62. See, as it runs better, the smoke stops. You hear the sound changes. Still getting hotter. That means that out here, this is getting warmer too. I can feel it. It's lukewarm. It is warm. It's not hot. And it's still struggling in there. 71. But I think once it's going, once it gets hot, it'll be good. I think it'll be okay. You can see here the glow plug light is off. No glow plug. It's just the fuel pump, the power, and the fan. Smoke's almost gone. And it's just recovering from an error. It's self-recovering. All I had to do was unplug it and replug it in. There you go. It's getting hotter. It keeps getting hotter and hotter. Inside still 15 degrees. This is getting warmer. Now we're at 92. I'll give it a few minutes. We gotta speed this video up. Okay, this thing is up to 116, 17 there. And this is now warm to hot. It's going through this pipe here. It goes into here. It's just intaking from the engine bay. Nothing really stopping it. You don't run the engine while you're on the heater, but it's just intaking right from here. 124, 25. The smoke stopped. doesn't make much noise once it's actually on and going really good. The noise never bothered me. The ticking doesn't bother me. When the engine bay is closed, when these things are closed, you can't hear it. I've added more soundproofing and insulation behind every panel. And now we're up to 137, 38. She blows right here. Sounds like she's running. I'm going to put the seats back down. Okay, so earlier I was diagnosing an E07 code, but now we're all fixed up. We're working just fine. It's 203 degrees inside the heater. There's no smoke, but there is some noise. Running perfect. It's piping hot over here. Piping hot. It's on high. All I had to do was I unplugged the master harness from the control unit that goes down to the heater. I just unplugged it, left it unplugged for a minute, replugged it, and started it up twice. The first time it flamed out, and the second time it runs perfect. And that's how I cleared E07. So it's 9 degrees Celsius, and the diesel heater's been running at 22 degrees Celsius for a few hours now. It says it's 21 in the car, 170 in the motor. You can hear it makes a little noise. It's not much, so it doesn't bother me at night. That's why I don't have the muffler on. Heat comes out of here. It's hot and it's low. If you listen carefully, you can hear the fuel pump. So yeah, diesel heater's running nice. Toasty in here is 9 degrees Celsius outside, and it's staying at 21 degrees inside with the thermostat. I got some windows open. I'll close them up now. All right, and I'll turn it off for the night. You turn it off just by holding it down. That'll do its off cycle. Off cycle takes 5 minutes.